big pinch of salt. Alright. But you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Thank you, Kazuma. He's so done too. Alright, testimony round 2. Welcome back, everyone. It's Light here. And last time we started the trial, and Kazuma has not been taking it easy on us. And that's what we expected, though. And we've got these witnesses here, and honestly, I don't think they're being that suspicious yet. I mean, the guy in the middle kind of is, and he's got that mark on his neck, so he's the only one I'm kind of suspicious of right now. Whether or not he's the killer or not, I don't know. I think he was involved with something. He did do something, just don't know what. Anyway, time to move on to their second round of testimony. I don't know anything about their notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Oh yeah, she sells her bombs or her fireworks or whatever. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. Mood. It was that Reaper, I bet. He's got a face that screams bored. What? What does that mean? I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Oh boy, they're all getting a little jittery. What's going on? So none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you? Really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. Dang nabbit, Kazuma. In short, the only person who could have possibly have committed this crime is Barak von Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. Alright. I don't think there was anything right away that can be like, hold it, or not hold it, but like, objection. Nothing to present right away, I think. Right? I'll just press. When in doubt, just press. So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on? Admit it? What's to admit? It's there plain as day for all to see. A smashing print of my right hand. I don't know if that's how I'd describe it. Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you? No, imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man? Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. Yeah, that's true. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver. In other words, this witness is unable to give definitive testimony on that point. Yes, so it would seem. What the heck? How is she lighting the match? Is there like something underneath her skirt she's using to light her match? Whatever. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos. I've got a plan to blow their school to Kingdom Come. What? Are you sure you should be admitting that in a court of law, ma'am? So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. She is such a swindler, oh my gosh. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. Course. And sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life, selling explosives. Oh my gosh. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Did you miss the part where she's doing it on purpose to get money? Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. Oh? This guy really does see everything.
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? I hate that I can't remember his name. I feel so bad. No. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think? That's actually good. I like that. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? This poor guy, don't put him on the spot like that. What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. Oh jeez. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Come on, speak up. Well, if it means I'll be burning hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Come on. Old Blabbermouth here, headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Oh. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, eh? Dude, no! Oh, geez, okay. I thought she was gonna throw it at the guy, at the old man, for a second. I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch? So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief! Well, now you come to mention it. I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah? Either you clearly remember it or you don't. Oh, Ryunosuke's so done. Well, I should consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh yes, my lord, of course. One lie begets another. Maybe I did sneak along the side gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it!
You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Alright. But you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there is a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Thank you, Kazuma. He's so done too. Well, alright, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once over, but there was nothing to worry about. Right, now I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I add. The truth, please. That might be my favorite bit. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing. She flipped it? You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? What? You deaf barn pot! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh please, I should be so lucky. The truth, now! I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you Ah! So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard. For a big case he solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. I see. I tried to offer him once and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all bad, though. I took it to Jabez's that night to ask how much it was worth. The old dealer wouldn't touch it, wouldn't give me a penny for it, said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. I knew I should have lifted it. But hold on. Shouldn't or should have? Should have lifted it, okay. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please. Just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children, watch your manners. Good lord. The glass appears to be broken. More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed, it appears to have stopped at the hour of 5. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Aww. We should inspect that. My awe lasted for 5 seconds before I was like, wait, new evidence, gotta inspect it. Oh man. Other than the crack though, not much else to look at. The glass over the face really is badly cracked, look. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. Aww. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruto, not an odd job man. I mean, the way he acts, he may as well be an odd job man. Oh boy. Anything else? There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here, look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. I don't think we saw anything like that. Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you'd need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole. Have we? It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found. Oh, that's a hint hint nudge nudge if I ever heard one. I mean, the only thing that... well, there's this, but I don't think that's gonna have the key. This? Where though? The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun? Ah, jeez. She can be childish too, that's so cute. Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what's it for, I wonder? Aha! So then do we examine the thing again, and then it should... update. Tiny keyhole, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, da da da. Why do I feel as though I've seen something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole? It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully of what we've already found. Wait a second. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Huh. Maybe I have to examine the actual key. Hold on. Doo-doo-doo. Mrs. Otto, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. She's so energetic about it. It's working! I knew it. A perfect fit. And look! The inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Otto? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. Maybe just a tad. Alright. Perfect. Alright. Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Ugh. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. Oh, man. Let me just see what else is here. Just gotta face the screen's board. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. Detective still died when he heard the gunshot. Okay. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know. And I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my side up high. So you did go to see what had happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the Cyan family. What? So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out of a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo science. Does that mean you didn't notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, just a sign at the crossroads of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? Hold on, didn't we establish it was her? Or am I crazy? Okay. What exactly do you mean by that? Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. So true. But not notice boards. They're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. What? I can't say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor. Or off the Reaper. Not for a second. Sorry? Well, I was that scared. I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. Got him. Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it. If he'd heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right. Glad we've cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I feel your pain, Cosima. Oh man. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over. Or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose. And the prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Oh my gosh. Not much to go on. As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruto, there is no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Cosima is right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I have no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts. Alright then. Alright. Maybe I just need Detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Okay. Well, they already gave us a hint, right? I'm pretty sure I had to present the pocket watch.
Objection!
Yay! I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. Don't give up! Don't give up that easily, come on! At the scene we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key? And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Yay! Order, order, order! But counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot. It is, exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection!
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, I wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, aye. Well, how do you explain it then? In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single day, for every single evening, for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Dang. Order! Order! Counsel! That is the most extraordinary claim!
Objection!
Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, on that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right. Thanks, Susato. Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty great puddle of blood. Yes, so the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection!
But that blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that he... Not you too! I thought we were done with the learned friend nonsense. Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Maybe. Just maybe. Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. Oh, thank you, Susato! She's saving us. Oops. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all. Yay!
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? Us thought know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now you listen to me, a street seller's ears are his livelihood. I don't doubt your ears, sir. But all you can say with certainty is that you heard a noise. I just need to say, when he did that confident pose earlier, it's so weird. He doesn't have the sword anymore. I just realized that. No, that's sad. We've had it for so long. I mean, it's back where it belongs, but still. Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with... Oh...
Take that!
Well, the culprit could have used something like this, for example. Oh, am I wrong? What? Yes, please, show the court how you could use that to create a noise like a gunshot. We're waiting, counsel. I may have been mistaken. It looks like you've been making a lot of noise yourself, Mr. Naruto. Wait, it's not the firecrackers? Cosmo's got a devastating way with words in English, too. I realize it may be difficult to retract what you said and present some different evidence, but perhaps... Yes, I was thinking the same thing myself. That's because I'm convinced there is some evidence that could produce a similar noise. What was that? Okay, what else is there? What the heck? What else could it be? Hold on. Actually, wait. Did we examine this? Maybe that's why. We haven't examined it, so we don't know. Have you had an idea, Miss Naruto? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that if it's the Venus special, I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Alright. That was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Miss Naruto. It sounded almost exactly like... There we go, that's what we needed. I need to examine evidence. I keep getting in hard spots because I forgot to examine evidence.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness? Now hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Oh, there we go. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot, for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
Leave us alone! But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barak von Zieks. One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Good heavens, a bomb? Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruto, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device? Yes, exactly. A time device! Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed to create the gunshot sound? Huh. Hold on. What could it be? What could it be? Well, maybe... Oh! This? Let me try this.
Take that!
Wow. That was a complete guess. But it kind of makes sense, right? Because we're wondering how one candle is still long and the others are short. We thought it was from the gunshot. But it looks like it's burnt as well too, so that could be from a bomb. As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. Knew it. That's what caught my attention when we first saw it. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Ah! Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks. How can that be, eh? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Okay. Or to put it another way, the candle and the firecrackers were joined together. Oh. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two. Aha! Until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud... Aha! And that's why Zeke didn't know where the bang came from. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot! And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe, the previous day even. Now just hold your horses! All us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? Aye, I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Ah! Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, so the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say? It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh. Oh no. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke, Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? Stop. I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Dang. And his theme too. The prosecutor version of his theme. I love it. Order! 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 Prosecutor Asagi? What on earth do you mean by that statement? I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. Dang. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly. I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the Yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court that the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? This one, right? Or am I wrong? I believe it's this. Because this was on the board. So,
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, you'd already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, Counsel? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. Yep, we know that. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 redheads? Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. Yeah, I knew it. I was suspicious of the redheads. The people that were in Sholmes' suite. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 red-headed league conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asagi. No. At once, my lord. So good to have him back. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. You know, it's nice having a prosecutor that we're facing off who, like, you know, takes us a bit seriously, isn't throwing his wine cups around or throwing his bottle to the gallery or putting his foot up on his freaking desk. Yeah, that's right, Zeke. I'm looking at you, Mr. Litterer. Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. I wonder though, will this end with these guys, or will we have another day of investigating and another trial day? Guess we'll have to see. Oh, there you are, Otto. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty odd to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. What is this, a contest? It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. But Dr. Scythe is in prison, no? Unless the person who did the report this time is in leagues with her, or is trained by her. I don't know. I know, anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Von Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. Uh-huh. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. So in other words, you were duped. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, sis. And it was me who took him in. Aw, thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector had been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Honestly, it's funny, but at the same time, he was desperate for money too. Don't tell him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yeah, but that's true. He was too honor-bound to do that. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Von Zeeks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Von Zeeks, and Cosima. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? Oh, you know, a battle of wits with his friend, his best friend. All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Oh boy. Cosimo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Oh, boy. Are you ready then, Mrs. Otto? Yes. Alright. Time for round... Well, technically round 2, because it's a new round of witnesses. Here we go. Oh, Zeeks. Why is he in the stand? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed hearing of Barak von Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Oh, that's why he's in the stand, okay. Now then, Prosecutor Asalgi. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception, They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. Oh boy. Is he eating pasta? How is he eating? These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. That reminds me of, oh, who was it? Nash and what was the other guy's name? Gosh, I forgot. But, when they were like, on being held, right? And then in the stand, Gregson was with them, watching them, because they were criminals. Dang, that takes me back. Gregson, come back. No. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabienne de Rousseau. A descendant of the great Rousseau family from Nice, en France. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I love this though. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Temesc are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alas. I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I am trying to do, huh? So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. That's actually kind of funny. C'est capou? Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Eh? Sure? Are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Viva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capot. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Chebelot! There it is. The capo's trumper card, the furrowed brow. It is deep, capo, the furrow, and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alas, I will explain it. No, Capo. Leave it to Ami. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. Away, those dogs. One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night, he would bury his head in a pillow. C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. He was about to give us his life story. I mean, I was into that. I was intrigued. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement, and from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money, to France. It was a plan most elegant, none? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. Shams, if you're listening, that doesn't include you, okay? The park was described by one witness as chalked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrel. That's Shams' description. And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. I have seen more red-headed people Mondays than I will see in the rest of the rest of my life. See. And now, every time I see couples here, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry. The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. Di Rosso and Mr. Di Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court. On the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. You mean the law that you're always ready to break, you mean? The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-eyed people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day. I don't recall the man in this photograph. Hi, Capo. None, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. Allora, this victim? Is that nothing to do with us? Uh-huh. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Don't blame your partner. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. He's eating again. Nobody looking at like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Uffa! With this attitude? We got nowhere, eh? We get to nowhere, eh? He's really a sulky now. Not you too, Ryunosuke. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that that's when he was killed. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Ah, yes, my lord. Alrighty. We'll have to cross-examine them next time. I mean, I have a feeling they're involved, but like from what Ryunosuke said during the recess, that it means that there's still a long way to go with the case, so I don't know. I mean, I guess it could mean that they're gonna take a while to crack, which I mean is normal by Ace Attorney standards. Alright everyone, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one where we get a cracking on these witnesses. See you later.